Hi, my name is Dave Ferraz, and I'm the Marketing Manager at Prolights. Welcome to the Theatrical Lighting webinar. Today we're going to talk about our theatrical lighting range. That includes LED ellipsoidals, LED Fresnels, and LED cyclorama lights. But first, let's see a bit of history about theater. Throughout time, humans sought ways to entertain each other. Theater is a fundamental part of world culture and is extremely important to most countries worldwide. Theater technologies have evolved incredibly over the past few years. From lighting consoles to lanterns, lighting equipment has become incredibly complex and requires a lot of modern technology. LEDs have become an important sample of that advancement, and their acceptance has increased exponentially over the past 10 years. Companies have rushed to keep up with the technology through the 90s and early 2000s, and there is now a wide offering of equipment manufactured in many different countries. Prolights wants to be part of this evolution and has created an exciting new range of products specifically thought out to theatrical productions. So in the Prolights range, that includes LED ellipsoidals, LED Fresnels, cyclorama, and PAR fixtures. Let's look now at our LED ellipsoidals, starting with the ECL Profile City Plus. So the ECL Profile City Plus is one of our newest features at Prolights in the theatrical lighting range. Let's have a look at the quick overview on this fixture. So the ECL Profile City Plus is a high-quality 6-color LED ellipsoidal with tunable whites and color mixing. The fixture includes Luxium C emitters, so 96 3-watt 6-color custom LED sources with red, green, blue, royal blue, mint, and PC amber. We also have a lot of color gels pre-built inside the feature as well, and we have tungsten emulation on dimming to really kind of mimic the old lanterns, the old ellipsoidals from kind of the history of theatrical backgrounds. We also have multiple lenses available for these features. The ECL Profile City Plus is compatible with third-party lenses, but we have high-definition lenses specifically made for the type of sources that we have inside this fixture. So that includes a 5-degree lens, 10-degree, 14, 19, 26, 36, 50, and 70-degree lenses. We also have 2 zoom lenses, so one from 15-degree to 30-degree, and one from 25-degree to 50-degree. On these fixtures, we also have built wide presets, so from linear CCT from 2,800 Kelvin upwards of 10,000 Kelvin with a very high CRI up to 97 CRI values. We also have tint control with plus or minus green adjustments built in to the ECL Profile City Plus. Looking at the accessories, we have a wide range of accessories available for this fixture. So starting with our soft focus diffusion kit. What it does is it blends in the LEDs from the source and kind of allows to have a very smooth source coming out of the lens barrel. As I said before, we also have a lot of the high definition lens barrel accessories and the zoom optics as well. And we also have a gel filter frame included with this fixture, gobble holders, drop-in iris accessories, soft edge filter to kind of blend in the edges of the beam when it hits the floor, when it hits the wall, along with the common accessory like flight case. Flight cases for lenses as well, and a firmware tool to kind of update the firmware of these fixtures. In terms of the lens barrels, as we can see here, so we have from a very tight barrel of 5 degrees, so if we want to use as kind of a long throw projection from the back of the theater, for example, to 10 degree, 14 degree, and then obviously the common 19, 26, and 30 degree lens barrels as well, a 50, and a very wide kind of 70-degree lens barrel available for these units. The high-definition zoom lenses range from 15-degree to 30-degree zoom, and we also have a 25 to 50-degree zoom lens barrels available for the units. So looking at the construction of the body and kind of the filter, the homogenizer filter, as we can see here in this video. So the filter, what it does, it kind of works as a beam homogenizer. So the accessory can be mounted in a metal frame with magnets and installed inside the fixture body at the front gates of the optical mixer. So just behind the the lens barrel, as you can see here, and then you can quickly fit that accessory onto the unit, lock it down, and then we'll see ahead how it kind of changes the output of the source. So as you can see here, two pictures, one on the left with the filter and without the filter. So it is really used to kind of hide the multiple color beams coming out of the front lens barrel. So you just insert the filter and you will get kind of a perfectly mixed output straight out from the lens without seeing the different colors of the LEDs. So in terms of the 6 color engine on the ECL Profile City Plus, so the 96 emitters, so the red, green, blue, PC Amber, royal blue, and mint LEDs, we can render kind of a wider color gamut with precise colors, and most importantly, a higher quality across the entire correlated color temperature. The primaries are composing the light source have kind of been picked to further enhance the color space, kind of reaching a 20% increased gamut with a very rich color spectrum. In terms of the calibration of the LEDs, so actually each individual ECL Profile City Plus is calibrated here in Italy, in Minturno, by qualified engineers in order to get the best achievable performance out of every luminaire and to ensure a perfect consistency from unit to unit on every batch. So whether you've bought an ECL Profile City Plus or you're planning to buy an ECL City Plus in a year, 2 years down the line, we're able to kind of fully calibrate and keep the history, the records of those fixtures and match those fixtures when they get to your theater, so there's no mismatch between the different units. We also have 2 different modes on the ECL Profile City Plus, so 2 operation modes, and they optimize the light source performance on various applications. So we have a high quality mode providing a high color rendering, so an average of 95 CRI, and a high brightness mode providing kind of a boosted output of upwards of 30% output with a slightly lower color rendering as well. The users can select different modes as well, so different fan modes from silent, balance mode, auto mode, or full mode. So depending on what type of environment you are working, you can adjust the fan to the different settings as well. So that was it on the ECL City Plus. You can find more information on the Prolights website at prolights.it. So up next, let's look at the ECL Profile FW. So the ECL Profile FW is our unit that we've made just for kind of a fixed white colors. So we have 2 different versions available, a daylight and a tungsten unit available. Let's look at the differences now. So the ECL FW uses the same body as the ECL City Plus, but we only have 2 variants, as I said, the warm white and the cold white version. All of the accessories and lenses from the City Plus are compatible with the FW series as well. So looking at the units individually, so you can see it's a high quality full white LED ellipsoidal with tungsten and daylight versions. That's a 91 3-watt LED emitters. On the tungsten, we have a 3200 Kelvin color temperature, and on the daylight version, we have a 5600 Kelvin color temperature with very high lumen outputs and a superior quality of whites. So in terms of the outputs for these units in the white points is much brighter than the ECL City Plus because the emitters are specifically just for these colors. So obviously all of the power is concentrated on the daylights or on the tungsten versions as well. We can use all of the accessories, so all of the lenses, whether it's the fixed lens, the fixed angles, or the zoom lenses, we can use on the ECL FW as well. We also have the shutter systems, and we have the different fan modes available for these units as well. Let's look now at the different colors. So as you can see, kind of the tungsten units, it's a 3200 Kelvin color temperature, and then the daylight version is a 5600 Kelvin color temperature as well. We have extremely high CRI and TLCI values on all of these units, so you can find the photometrics on our website. On this version, the TM30 value is 91.3, the CRI value is 97, so a very high CRI, with a kind of a very wide, a very powerful output on the specific color, again, because the LEDs are specifically with daylights or tungsten versions as well. Let's look at the dimming on these units. So these units were thought to have kind of a very smooth dimming curve. So as you can see here, from full to 0 in 10 seconds, as you can see, there's no flicker whatsoever. So they were really kind of designed to mimic all of the classical tungsten fixtures that you've probably already used before, but with LED technology made for kind of broadcast theatrical applications. So a very kind of wide range of applications, still maintaining kind of all of that software that allows for the smooth dimming, for no flicker on ultra high definition cameras, etc., etc. So you can find more information about the ECL Profile FW on our website, again, prolights.it, and just head to our stage lighting section on the website, and you'll find all of the information for these units there. So now let's look at the ECL Cyclorama units. So the ECL Cyclorama units are comprised by two different versions. So we have the ECL Cyclorama 100 and the ECL Cyclorama 50. So looking at the differences between the two, so ECL Cyclorama 100 is a 330 watt LED, and the 50 is a 150 watt linear soft LED floodlight with RGBW, or rather RGB warm white color mixing system. Very high CRI again, so CRI of 93 at 3200 Kelvin, and very bright colors. They were made with a slim design, so it's only 11 centimeter height, and that's used kind of for easy implementation in front or at the end of the stage. We have a wide asymmetric beam angle to allow flexible installations at modular distances between the fixtures. We'll look at that setup a little bit further ahead in the presentation. We also have tilt angle adjustments, so we have little rubber feet on the bottom of the unit where you can tilt the unit forwards as well. We have options for beam control and flexible hanging accessories as well. We can also use these units in kind of a ground stacking application. We'll look at the accessories ahead in the presentation. So here we are. So we can see there's starting from the pole-operated aluminium yoke brackets. We also have a little kind of a light diffuser filter that we can put on top of the 50 or of the 100. We can also have barn doors to kind of alter the angle of the beam out of the unit, and then we have all of the accessories for mounting, flight case accessories, etc., etc. Let's look a little bit on the colors and the CCT range of these fixtures as well. So as you can see here, from 2800 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin, we have a wide range of whites, and then we can create very saturated colors or kind of beautiful pastels using that warm white chip that we have available on these fixtures. In terms of mounting the units, ECL Cyclorama is designed with a special optical system and hardware mechanisms that allow trouble-free user experience and installation focus on kind of a positive experience for the users. The fixtures can be installed in distance from the wall, starting from 1 up to 3 meters, and they can be spaced among each other with no distance or up to 3 meters without really seeing any dark spots or anything like that. So it's a very wide kind of asymmetric angle. So whether they're all together or kind of spaced apart, you can see the colors and the units blend very well together on a white wall or any cyclorama background. It's very small design, so as I said before, only 11 centimeters of height, so it's an extremely small dimension. You can see here comparing with a piece of gaffer tape. So it can be placed anywhere, whether it's a catwalk, whether it's in front of the stage, whether it's upstage, so using as a cyclorama light or using as a kind of a footlight, it can really blend in any scenario or any set, whether it's on TV, theater, or kind of any corporate gig as well. So in terms of the accessories, we can ground, so we can put the units on the ground rather, or hang the units from a truss, so using that Omega clamp accessory, or we can also use these units with a pole-operated yoke, so we can control the pan and the tilt of these units using kind of that yoke accessory rigged onto the actual units. So all of this information, again, can be found on our website, prolights.it. Just go to the ECL 100 or ECL 50 products, and you can find all of these. You can find all of the datasheets, user manuals, DMX charts. We also have a lot of the personality files for all of the industry standard desks, anything like that. You can also find the photometrics for each one of these fixtures and kind of really see how impressive their output is. So not only in theory, but in practicality as well. So finally, let's look at our ECL Fresnel range. So the ECL Fresnel range is comprised of a lot of different units, so please do bear with me as I go through all of the different ones. We have different sources, we have different size of Fresnels. It will be easier to understand as you kind of get familiar with the range as well. So starting off with the available versions on the color temperatures. So we can have static daylight versions, we can have static tungsten variants as well, along with the tunable whites with colors, so kind of the full color versions of the ECL Fresnel. So you can distinguish all of these versions with the letters TU, DY, or TW. So TU will be our tungsten versions, DY will be our daylight variants, and TW will be the full color tunable whites with color version of the ECL Fresnels. So looking and starting with the 2K Fresnel. So the 2K Fresnel is an LED Fresnel with a HB white source or full color tunable white with color correction, and that really replaced kind of a 2000 watt lamp. So we have three versions, so the TU, DY, and TW. The first two, so that's a 500 watts high power white LED. We have a 3000 Kelvin version, and we have a 5600 Kelvin version available on the daylight variants. On the TW version, so that's a 500 watts engine as well, so 6 color LED source engine. We have a CCT range from 2800 Kelvin upwards of 10,000 Kelvin as well. All of these three fixtures have a lens diameter of 250 millimeters. So looking ahead on the ECL Fresnel, that's our units to replace the 1000 watt lamps. Again, we have the TU version, DY version, and TW versions. So starting with the first two, that's a 230 watts high powered LED. Again, 3200 Kelvin, 5600 Kelvin versions. And then the 6 color custom LED source, so the TW version, that's a 230 LED engine with CCT from 2800 Kelvin upwards of 10,000 Kelvin as well. All three units have a lens diameter of 200 millimeter. Moving on to the ECL Fresnel Junior. That's a unit that replaces kind of the conventional 650 watt lamps. So 70 watts LED engine on the TU and DY versions, so 3200 Kelvin, 5600 Kelvin, and then the full colored version, that's a 130 watts 6 color engine with a CCT range so similar to the previous two units, 2800 Kelvin upwards of 10,000 Kelvin. All three units with a lens diameter of 150 millimeters. Finally, we have the ECL Fresnel Junior. The ECL Mini Fresnel, rather. So that unit replaces a conventional 300 watt LED Fresnel, or rather a conventional Fresnel of 300 watts. We have three versions as well, so a 40 watt tungsten or daylight version. Here the color temperature changes a little bit, so the tungsten version is 3050 Kelvin, and the daylight version is a 5000 Kelvin source. The full color is a 70 watts engine. The color mixing system here is a little bit different as well, so it's an RGB plus lime LED engine with a CCT control, again from 2100 to 10,000 Kelvin, and all three units have a lens diameter of 100 millimeters. So looking a bit of how all of these units look like on camera at the different white points. So as we can see here, the tungsten version, so the 3200 Kelvin, looks like kind of a very warm kind of tungsten look. The TW version in 4000 Kelvin kind of looks like a very neutral tone, with the daylight version at 5600 Kelvin having kind of a more kind of cool tone onto your object or onto your person as well. We also have pole operated fixtures. Not all of these features are pole operators, so I'm going to tell you about the differences, but when they are, we can control tilt, pan position, and zoom range as well with the kind of the pole operated mechanism. So these are the units that are pole operators. So when they are pole operated, you'll see a little P in front of the names as well. So ECL Fresnel 2K P for pole operators. So we have a tungsten, daylights, and full color version. The ECL Fresnel P, so again, that was the one that replaces the 1000 watts sources. We also have a tungsten, daylight, and a variable color version as well. And then the ECL Fresnel Junior P, again P for the pole operators. We have a tungsten, daylights, or full color as well. In terms of the zoom range and the zoom operation, I'm going to show you a little video that explains that. So there's a little knob on the side of all of the features. We can control the zoom range through that kind of very, very easily. Again, if it's the pole operated version, we can control the zoom range with the pole specifically, and kind of change that as the unit is hanged on your grids. So that's it on the ECL Fresnel range. I hope that kind of clarifies some of the doubts that you may have had. All of this information is available on our websites at prolights.it. That includes all of the data sheets, all of the DMX charts, user manuals, personality files, photometrics, etc. If you cannot find any specific information on the website, please feel free to kind of reach out to us, and we'll be able to help you in the best way that we can. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day.